So this is gonna be a bit of a ramble. Have you ever had to laugh for 60 seconds? Because I did, along with a bunch of other workshop participants. Dance Place in Oregon I'm on the board of had a workshop with Charles O. Anderson, a phenomenal being, as well, including being a teacher, choreographer, dancer. Anyway, it was part of an exercise, and I won't go too much into the context of it, but only to say laughing for 60 seconds is definitely an interesting physical experience. Also very close to, I don't know, the breathing in it just was very borderline, like similar to like how I might breathe if I were crying. And gosh, where am I going with this? I don't know. Laughter is just interesting, especially something that came up in the context of the conversation was both the laughter of Black people during these times and how important that is, but also like the uncomfortable laughter of white people when faced with racism. And immediately I can think of like a number of situations where I've been in mixed company and called out a microaggression, and like laughter was definitely a part of some white people's response, as if in disbelief or to make light of it. And part of me is just like, that's not funny. Like, it hurt. Now, what else did we talk about? Part of why I took the workshop was because seeing his work, Recurrent Unrest, definitely sparked some of my own thoughts in terms of like what I am hoping to explore personally with my own Welders production. And so I just wanted to like get to know more about his process, and I'm glad I took the workshop. Part of what he talked about was kind of call and response. Even though it's something that I'm familiar with, especially as an African precept, it was something that I never, the way we talked about it, who makes the call, right? And who responds, and what are those words? I never thought about intentionally the way he framed it, and that was really neat, especially because last year at Burning Man there was a Black Lives Matter march and protest, and I was one of about 8 or so Black people on top of this DPW vehicle that was leading the thing, and almost everyone was taking turns leading a chant to the dozens, if not 100 or so people behind us, following us. And I didn't, if only because I wasn't sure. I mean, like, not like I wasn't sure why, I just wasn't sure. And because I wasn't sure, I didn't feel like I could lead a chant to be echoed by these people until we got close to the Everywhere Pavilion. And because this was a Black Lives Matter in Black Rock City, and that was one call response, mine was just a kind of echo. It wasn't I had a thing to call him. The response was the thing I said. And so I just started yelling out everywhere for everyone. And people picked it up. And that felt really interesting. It wasn't something people had said before, at least in the course of our march. And so, and they were words that I, like, even if I hadn't thought of them at the moment, if someone else shared them, they were words that I felt like I could really say and lead with conviction by myself, which is different from joining a response that other people are saying and like being in solidarity with them, right? It's not that I didn't believe any of the other words I was saying. I just didn't think that I could hold the conviction needed to say them by myself, which is definitely on par for like how I lead my life sometimes. I'm definitely like an ensemble person in the things I do and the work I do. Anyway, still processing a bit from the workshop. I'm sure laughter and a call and response will, have to be a part of my Welders piece now. I'm just not sure how or why, right? And if not laughter, specifically joy, for sure, which I kind of knew. But yeah, just very stream of thought in this process so far. The brain fog is real. There's a part 2 of the workshop on Saturday, so it'll be interesting. I hope to participate, and to see what I'm able to bring or share if I do. But yeah, very, very glad, very grateful for Charles and his work. And this piece, which was like, not even a piece in and of itself, it was like just the latest iteration of an ongoing exploration into agitation and being woke. Oh, that was a whole other thing. Yeah, the idea of what being woke means, but also like what happens when you're awake too long and you don't like rest. So on that note, I think I'm just gonna stop because yeah, I think that's all I got for now. Thanks for tuning in this time.